It's Friday, May 16th, 2025. Thanks for tuning in today. A lot to talk about. Watching the markets today, markets across the board finished up in the green. Everything is wonderful, but I really am very concerned with what's happening to the US economy. And I really feel that we're going to come to a point where society is going to crash. The US economy is going to crash. And at some point, you're going to have people knocking at your door. Some of these people you may know, some of these people you may not know. And I want to talk about that today. But I want to share this first article. And this article came out last year, I believe, in August on Motley Fool. Over 3 million Americans sleeping in their vehicles. Again, this came out last summer. And I have to ask every one of you, stock market up today, everything looks rosy, but if everything is so great, how come we have millions of Americans sleeping in their cars? Now, maybe this article is wrong. Maybe the data here is wrong. But from what I can see with the amount of homeless in my area here in Southern California, I don't think it's wrong. But if everything is so great, how come we have so many people sleeping in their cars, so many people sleeping on the streets of America? I think people are really in denial. They just go, oh, look, the market's up, so everything is okay. And the people that say that have $18 in their bank account. They're working 3 jobs. They have massive amounts of credit card debt, but they believe everything is okay because every day the television is pounding in your head, the stock market's booming, the stock market's coming back, everything is okay. And yet you have no money, you have less opportunity, you're struggling, you're going deeper into debt. I think we better pay real close attention to what is happening to this country right now. Society is breaking down right before our very eyes. It's breaking down. You're watching it happen. And it just seems almost every day it's getting worse. I look at some of these videos on social media of the crimes that are being committed. They are absolutely brutal. I think we have some of the most violent people now on earth walking around hurting innocent people. I think we're heading towards a collapse that is going to change a generation, as Ray Dalio has mentioned. People have been calling for an economic collapse, a societal collapse for years. But if you go out in public, if you drive around cities, especially the big ones, you're seeing this collapse. It's been taking place for many years. Death by 1,000 cuts. Nobody's going to tell me that things are better now than they were 4 or 5 years ago. They're not better. They're getting worse. All you have to do is look around at your cities, your infrastructure, the gangs, the graffiti, the trash along the freeways, the interstates. But the stock market is up. But 80% of Americans are working paycheck to paycheck. People are working 2, 3, even 4 jobs. We're $37 trillion in debt, credit card debt at $1.21 trillion and climbing, student loan debt at $1.7 trillion, auto loan debt $1.65 trillion. Remember, we had nearly 3 million car repossessions last year. So if everything is so great, how come we have 3 million people living in their cars and 3 million car repos in 2024? We have so many people in financial trouble in this country. And, I'll watch some of these reaction videos. And a lot of these people, they deserve what they get. They laugh about it. They go to Disneyland and they'll brag that they're in debt. They're in Hawaii. They're in Las Vegas. They brag about the debt. But, hey, it's more fun to be in Vegas, more fun to be in Hawaii, more fun to be at Disneyland while they brag about how much debt that they have. They think it's a game. They think it's a joke. Be prepared, ladies and gentlemen, because this is not over. We're going to hit the wall here. And when we do, you're going to have people coming to you for help. There are people out there that know you, that know that you're prepared. You may not talk about it, you may not share it, but they know that you're much better off than they are. And these will be the people coming to your door, knocking at your door. And again, you will know some of these people. Some of these people you may not know. And you're going to have a decision to make. What are you going to do? Are you going to let these people into your home? They're going to drink your water, eat your protein. They're going to, run up your utility bills. They're going to expect you to protect them. They're going to expect you to feed their kids. And you may not let them in. And then another question is, what if you close the door and they stick their foot in and block the door from closing and say, you're letting us in whether you want to or not? What are you going to do? You're prepared to deal with that. I think everybody better wake up. Crime is absolutely soaring in this nation, and people haven't even gone hungry yet. What is it, 9 meals away from anarchy? Could you imagine people not eating for 3 days? You're going to have a lot of people knocking at your door. I highly advise that you continue to put the food and water away, that you're out training, that you have the right tools for security, and that you are in the best shape of your life, and that you are prepared to defend your house, your family, your assets. Today, I just got this Streamlight weapons light right here. Let's see if I can, there you go. That just came today. It is imperative that every tool that you have has a light on it. Every tool that you have that you're training with has a light on it. Bad things happen at night, and everybody should have a weapons light on their tools, and you should be training at night. Do some night training. But every tool, whether it's a handgun or a long rifle, every one of your tools should have a weapons light on it. It's imperative. So cut something out, get yourself a light. Bad things happen at night. You want to be able to identify and train with a light. Go out at night somewhere. Maybe you can do a class somewhere and make sure you know how to operate a light on those tools. It's going to make you a much more solid defender of your home. So be well-rounded, get in the best shape of your life, and not just have strength, but have skills. Know how to defend yourself. Jiu-jitsu, boxing, Muay Thai, whatever it is. Make sure that you have skills. I carry a firearm every day, and I would not carry a firearm every day if I did not have good wrestling or jiu-jitsu skills. Very important. So it's not just, I'm going to just pull out a weapon and take somebody's life. Most times, you're never going to have to go nuclear, and you have to be very, very careful with the liability. You're not going to just take somebody's life because they bumped into you or flipped you off in a car. But if you get in a scrap, that doesn't mean you can just take somebody's life. So make sure you have good skills and you can defend yourself. If you have to go beyond that, you have the training, you have the proper tools and equipment, and heaven forbid that never happens. Pray to God that you never have to go through anything like that. Realtor.com. Very interesting here. And again, it just, reinforces what we're talking about with society, the breakdown. When people go broke, when they go hungry, when their kids go hungry, they are going to do things. So make sure you protect yourself. Realtor.com. Residents in one state can now stay at a newly completed tiny home village where rent is as low as $250 and $500, but you must qualify. Salt Lake City, Utah. It's called the Other Side Village. The land was donated by the city, and millions of dollars of taxpayer money was donated to this tiny home community created to help the unhoused. 60 homes, 350 square feet apiece. A lot of people going to be looking for places like this. A lot of people. And you know what? If you have bad credit, you're not going to be able to buy a tiny home. You're not going to be able to rent a tiny home. And so many people now are having their credit destroyed because they cannot pay their student loan debt. They can't pay their credit cards. They can't make the auto payments. So they don't understand. When you have a bad credit score, you're not renting a tiny home. You're not renting an apartment. You're not renting a room. You're not buying a house. So these people, again, they laugh. I'm never paying this money back. Come and get it. They're going to garnish your wages if you have a job. If you don't have a job, how are you going to feed yourself? How are you going to house yourself? Put a roof over your head? These people don't think. But this is what the country is coming to, where people are going to live in a 350 square foot house, and they're going to be very, very happy and own nothing. You will be happy and own nothing. Here's another one today. Thought this was interesting. Amazon is selling a long-lasting tiny home kit for $9,700, and it has an innovative design and easy setup. You will own nothing and you will be happy. Now people can just order their tiny homes on Amazon, go put it on a plot of land. Maybe, like we just shot a video a few days ago out here in the desert where people are just living on dilapidated RVs. There are people building shacks on county land out here and just living in shacks. So pretty soon we're going to see people fork out $9,700 and just put a tiny home out in the desert. I'm sure it's already happening. If I see that, we will report it, but I'm sure it's already happening. But this is now the United States of America, where people live in a $9,700 tiny home, 350 square feet. To me, look, you don't need to maybe live in a $3,000 starter home, but a 300 square foot starter home doesn't appeal to me either. There's got to be something, in the middle. Yes, people are living way over their heads. They don't need a 3,000 square foot starter home. But because of this indulgence that we see in society, where people are living way above their means, living on credit cards, living on debt, the pendulum is going to swing the opposite way. And people are going to, their standard of living is changing right now. Consumer sentiment slides to second lowest on record as inflation expectations jump after tariffs. Markets ignore consumer sentiment. They don't care. The rich are getting richer. The people on Wall Street are getting rich. Everyone else, they just tell you, go get another job, go get another side hustle, work a little harder. These people are getting so rich, and the middle class is being absolutely gutted. The standard of living in this country is being absolutely decimated. You don't need me to tell you that. You can look around. Everybody's feeling the pinch. And this didn't just start a couple months ago. This has been going on for years. California approved State Farm's request for double-digit insurance rate hike. 17% rate hike for homeowners here in California by State Farm. It is getting so expensive to own a home. I don't know how people are doing this. I really don't. You look at an average family, what they're spending on a mortgage, car payments, auto insurance, health insurance, cell phones, cable, Netflix, going to the grocery store once or twice a week, having to take care of the maintenance on properties. These numbers, none of this adds up. This is completely unsustainable. There must be so many people, month over month over month, that are going into the red. None of this is being reported. They don't want to report this. They don't want to scare people. They don't even want to foreclose on homes right now. They're allowing people to refi 5, 6 times on a home. The banks don't want to take these homes. We over the years have seen a mortgage moratorium continue to take place in this country. If we really knew how many homes should be in foreclosure right now, it's not the number that we're seeing in the data right now. It's much higher than that, but they're not foreclosing. Here's another one today. Housing strain, mounting fears over rise of zombie foreclosures across the country in 5 states with shoppers priced out. Inflation and high housing costs is pushing people out on top of the cost of just getting food. Some homeowners are just unable to pay their mortgages right now because of the inflation, because of the cost. HOAs going up, the home insurance, property insurance going up. It's pricing people out. People who were comfortable 5 years ago can no longer afford the same life they had 5 years ago. In 2025, 212.3 thousand residential properties are in foreclosure. 7,094 sat empty. Nobody's even living in them. And really, there should be many, many more homes in foreclosure. But these banks continue to extend and pretend, allowing people to refi or just putting homes in a moratorium for a while. They don't want to foreclose on these homes. They don't want to show the losses. Exactly what's happening in commercial real estate, where it's more extend and pretend. Oh, the date on this loan comes due in December, but you know what? We're going to move it up to December of 2026. So you'll have another year. So they don't want to show these losses. They don't want to take these houses back. They don't want to take these office buildings back. So we don't really know. We don't have reliable data to really let us know exactly how bad commercial real estate is or how bad the residential housing market is. Here's another one today. Payment pain. Apple pay down as users get account service unavailable notice when using app and struggle to pay for products. I will finish with this article, and it is another reminder to all of you, to me, how quickly they can shut the entire financial system down, how quickly they can shut banks down. Boop, 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 done. You're not accessing your bank account. You're not buying anything with your Apple Pay. You're not going to make a withdrawal out of your checking account. It gets shut down. How quickly? And of course, they could blame it on anybody. They could say it's Russia, it's China, it's a massive cyber attack. Who knows who really did it? But if things really get out of control here, they can just shut it all down. So, it's a quick reminder. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. I'm not telling you to take all your money out of the bank, but I would not have all my money in a bank. I would have it in other locations. I would have it somewhere safe, not in a safe deposit box in a bank, not in a bank, because it just takes one button and it's over. And I think at some point we're going to see bailouts, bail-ins. This to me is just a continuation of the economic melt-up. Everything's okay. Look, the stock market's up, nothing to worry about. But again, 3 million people sleeping in their cars, $37 trillion in debt. As a nation, we're running, 1.2 trillion on the interest on our debt alone. I mean, how much longer can this go on? And, people might tell me it's going to go on for years. That's fine. But I'm going to see more people sleeping in their cars. I'm going to see more shacks and tents in the desert, more homeless vets, more homeless people, more people struggling to put food on the table, as I think a lot of these stores are really price gouging people. I have not seen prices really come down. I really wonder how much now is just pure gouging. If they know they can get it, they're going to continue to get it. $50,000 for a new car, and people are paying it. And as long as they pay it, they're going to keep charging you $50,000 for a new car, and it's going to be a piece of garbage. These recalls, the quality that you get now on a vehicle for $50,000 is an atrocity. It's an embarrassment. I'm going to leave it there today. Make sure you have a weapons light on all of those tools. Make sure you're training. Make sure you're getting your butt in shape. Have a good weekend. Be safe out there. God bless every one of you. God bless America. Be praying for this country, ladies and gentlemen. Be praying. We got big trouble coming. They can say anything they want on the television. They can tell you how bad things are collapsing in China. This country right here, right now, is the biggest debtor nation in the world. Everything is breaking apart, and society is breaking apart, which is extremely scary. People could be knocking at your door at any time for help. 3 days with no food, you're going to have a lot of people knocking at your door. What are you going to do? You're going to let them in, eat all your food? That's a decision that you have to make. I tell all the people in my circle and my family members, you better be preparing for yourself, because I can't afford to take care of everybody. Got my own family here, but I cannot take care of everybody. And everybody has been warned. I'm going to leave it there today. God bless every one of you. Take care. Have a safe weekend. Have a blessed weekend.